A new partnership between the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office and local elder and disability advocacy groups aims to get ahead of missing persons cases before they happen. Here to tell us about the program and its signature bloodhound is Jonetta Buxton. She's a retired detective and member of the JSO Missing Persons Unit. Good morning, Jonetta.
Good morning.
We're also joined by Linda Levin, CEO of ElderSource. Welcome back, Linda.
Thank you. Good morning.
So, Janetta, I'm saying this is a new program, and in fact, it's not really. It is kind of an expansion of an existing program that JSO has. But this is called the Pepper Project, named after a bloodhound named Pepper. What is Pepper trained to do?
Yes, it is a branch of resources that we had previously. Pepper is trained to sniff the scent that we obtain from our scent kit, and it's designed for Pepper and Patriot. We have two bloodhounds designed to follow that person in which they travel.
Yeah, and so Pepper, as you say, is a bloodhound. Patriot is one that's already doing this work.
A very seasoned bloodhound. Yes.
What is it about? I mean, we kind of hear bloodhounds, and we know that they're known to be tracking dogs. But is there something special about the way that they're um, made or built that allows them to be better at tracking?
Well, without being a canine officer or having been trained, what I know from a layman's standpoint, that they have a impeccable sense of smell and direction.
Yeah. And Linda, as we said, this is sort of an expansion of an existing project, all built around the idea of making sure that if somebody goes missing, somebody that has perhaps dementia or Alzheimer's, or in the case of somebody with just an intellectual disability,
Correct.
that this can help make it easier to find them.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why our board and ElderSource decided to sponsor Pepper and also purchase kits that we can distribute. And the scent kits are used to collect the scent from the person with Alzheimer's or dementia or autism. That Pepper, if that person goes missing, or Patriot, can go out, get the scent with the handler, and then track that person's scent to find them and hopefully find them safely and return them home.
And so this begins with a scent kit, which I think is a fairly new creation. I mean, it's not something that existed certainly, 20 years ago. And the idea is that people really do have a distinctive, unique scent, every person,
Yes, apparently.
as distinctive as a fingerprint.
Yeah, that's what I'm told. And what's beautiful about Pepper or Patriot is as a bloodhound, and I learned this from the officers at JSO, is their ability to really zero in on that person's scent. And Pepper, if you get to meet Pepper, is just a sweet bloodhound. She's not frightening, she's not scary or intimidating. So inviting and making whoever she's looking for comfortable.
Why is that important? I mean, explain, having a dog that looks approachable and kind and sweet as opposed to maybe one that's a little bit more imposing.
Well, I think for someone, especially, well, anybody, but especially someone with dementia or a child with an intellectual disability, you don't want a dog that's going to be aggressive or appear aggressive. You want somebody, or a dog, talk to her as a somebody,
Right.
a dog that's going to be soft and friendly and approachable so that they feel comfortable going with the officers and being returned home.
So I want to ask about kind of the process for the search, but before I do, I mean, Linda, what is the problem of people wandering off?
Well, people with dementia or with an intellectual developmental disability like autism, they do tend to wander. People with dementia, 60% will wander at least once, and often more than once. If they want to get out and walk, they're going to get out and walk, but they get lost easily because they don't have the memory of where they are. And sometimes they think they're in an old neighborhood where they moved from. And so they're looking and they get lost, and then they're at risk of getting sick or injured or dying. And so finding them as quickly as possible is essential. Children are drawn to water. There's so much water here.
Mm.
And so, we want to get to them quickly. And having the kit, and Janetta can tell you about Revamp, having them registered and revamp with the JSO helps the officers get to them that much more quickly. So hopefully we're saving lives.
Right. So part of the goal of this program, Janetta, is to kind of make people aware of the revamp program, which requires a little legwork at the front end in order to avoid possible delays and sometimes really significant delays if there's an emergency. Can you sort of explain what the revamp program does and is?
Yes, but before I do that, can I say a couple things about the scent kit before we move on?
Absolutely.
So with the scent kit, of course, it's what Miss Levin stated that our bloodhound will travel in the path that person takes. The scent kit is good for 10 years. It can't be frozen. It can't be left in extreme heat. It takes less than a minute to provide that scent kit to the family. And so we want anyone that has a cognitive issue of any kind, be it Alzheimer, dementia, Down syndrome, traumatic brain injury, to give us a call. Um, as you stated, it's very specific. Our scent is just like our fingerprints. It can't be changed. We don't have to worry about using a battery, anything of that nature. Well, it will not work due to whether we wear our scent. When we wake up in the morning, when we lay down, we have that same scent. And so moving on to the revamp program. So our revamp program is probably one of the most essential things that we have because our revamp program is for people, as I said earlier, with cognitive issues, right? It's a program where we're designed to obtain all pertinent information before the night of that incident. If you can imagine, if your loved one wanders away, you're stressed. The last thing you want is a bunch of officers or detectives browbeating you with a plethora of questions, right? You're probably saying to yourself, why are you asking me so many questions? Go out and find my family members, and maybe not in such a nice manner, right?
Mm.
And so the program is designed to ask the pertinent information, such as when were they diagnosed? What are they diagnosed with? What type of medication? How is it that we should approach them? Because that's very important too, because if they have certain sensory issues or if they are even scared of a dog. So there are certain things that we will do to try to make that person comfortable, right? Also, it helps us to know whether that person is walking with a walker or have some sort of disability because it will help us to know, well, how far possibly did they travel? So, again, all those things are important. And all the information that we receive from the family member is covered by HIPAA, right? It's housed with the city. Um, we have the same compliance as a medical personnel. You can't provide information outside of first responders, right? Which is police and firefighters. And it's also, we have to fall in line with CGIC regulations, right? Which is similar to HIPAA. Um,
So it's
all,
confidential, essentially, the
mm,
information that you provide. It's not something that you're disseminating as an agency to anyone else.
Absolutely. Only to first responders and only when we're utilizing it to try to locate that person. All the information that we obtain from the revamp registry as well as the scent kit, we'll attach it to a premise. A premise is notification on your home address. So if we get a call from that person saying that your family member has run away, the officer knows, excuse me, our dispatch knows to contact the missing person unit and other people that are listed on our premise.
So that dispatcher will know that they can immediately send out that crew, the dog, the missing persons.
Immediately,
Mhm.
yes, immediately. And all this information is available on hand. And so, just to give you an example, if I have a moment, so when we ask the family members not only pertinent information about their medical, we also ask them what places do they like to go? Where do they like to hang out? So, while that dispatcher is dispatching that call, we have officers going to those favorite places, park, waters, and all of the things to help us to locate that person.
And we should say REVAMP stands for Registry for Endangered, Vulnerable, and Missing Persons.
Persons.
And we'll remind you at the end of this segment, but there are links at ElderSource, there's links at JSO, um,
Jack's ready.
and Jack's Ready as well, the city's Jack's Ready website. Um, so this is it requires a little bit of assistance. These scent kits are very helpful to law enforcement and certainly to the bloodhounds, but they have to be collected in a certain way. They're not just something that you can sort of freestyle. So if people are wanting to participate in the registry, can you give us some idea, like how long does it take? How do they go about making that contact? Do they have to go somewhere? Are they doing the collection themselves? How does that all work?
So, in reference to the registry, you can go to Jack's Ready, or you can reach out to ElderSource and Agent True, which is a partner with ElderSource. As far as the scent kit, we will issue, we being ElderSource, Agent True, or someone from the missing person unit, or myself. And simply, it's a kit. It has a glass jar, um, a gauze inside, a placard with the person's information, and a seal. And so simply we'll don on gloves. We'll take that gauze and wipe the person's maybe underneath their arms or their back, depending on their sensitivity. We'll then put that gauze inside the jar, seal it, put the placard, which it contains their name, their age, and where we collected the scent and the date. And that's important because I said that it's good for 10 years. And we'll seal the lid. And we tell the family they can put it in a cool, dry place. Again, it can't be frozen, it can't be left in extreme heat. And we also tell them if for whatever reason the jar is compromised, someone opens it, to call us. Don't try to reseal it, but call us because we don't want a contaminated scent.
And so that is where people can, get this. They do store it at their own house. And in your experience, Linda, I mean, how helpful is this for families in that moment of crisis?
Oh, it's tremendous. I mean, it just saves time when they officers have something that the dog can track. It's so much more, such a much more quick response and greater likelihood of finding that person, whether it's an adult with dementia or a child with an intellectual disability.
And without that registry, I mean, you really are going to just have a patrol officer coming, asking a lot of questions, and maybe sending an investigator asking more questions, as opposed to just having the missing persons people come and begin the search.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the resources that it takes to go find a missing person without the scent kit and the dog are significantly greater because they have nothing to work with, right? Some information maybe they're getting from the family, but they're going to pile in all kinds of resources when they can use the dog and the handler and move more quickly.
Yeah.
To get the scent kit, again, you can get it at ElderSource. You need to bring your person with you for us to issue the scent kit and register them in Revamp. If they have an intellectual disability, we also partner with ARC Jacksonville.
All
And
right.
they have kits and are trained as well, or JSO and Jonetta.
Well, Jonetta Buxton, Linda Levin, thank you so much for being here. It sounds like a great program. Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having us.